Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee accuses the state governor of making unwarranted statements after Jagdeep Dhankar's comments on the violence in Birbhum district in which 8 people died. His comments set up another confrontation. Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray's brother-in-law now targeted by the Enforcement Directorate. The agency freezes 6.45 crores in assets in a money laundering case. NCP Chief Sharad Pawar hits out. College admissions will be based on a common entrance test from now, not class 12 marks which vary from board to board. This will do away with the stress of college cutoffs and ensure a level playing field, the UGC chairman tells NDTV. The steepest fuel hike in over 2 years. Fuel prices hiked for the first time in 137 days. LPG cylinder prices hiked by 50 rupees a cylinder. President Biden says India's position on Russia is shaky. A top US official tells NDTV democracies must stand together against Russia, calls that country an unreliable partner of India. And Zomato founder Deepinder Goyal says the 10-minute delivery service will be for specific nearby locations and popular and standardized items only after a backlash over Zomato's 10-minute delivery plan announcement. The top story at this hour, Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankar's comments on the violence in Birbhum, which claimed 8 lives in Bengal, has opened up another front between him and Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. The latter has accused the governor of making unwarranted statements. In a letter, she said, "Your statement has political overtones, supporting other political parties to browbeat the Bengal government." Mr. Dhankar had said human rights had been decimated and the rule of law had capsized in the state. Saurabh joining us with the latest on that. Saurabh, remind us of the details of this incident and yet another confrontation now between the elected chief minister of the state and the governor.
That's right. This is once again snowballed into something that perhaps is best avoided in a constitutional setup, but the Bengal governor has been at loggerheads with the chief minister of West Bengal, often, stepping beyond the boundaries of the role of a constitutional governor. But that is something that the Trinamool also has often pointed out, and in this situation being no different, obviously in the backdrop of a tragic incident where lives have been lost. But what Mamata Banerjee says in this situation is that, that the governor's letter, the governor's comments is something that, has resulted, especially over an unfortunate incident that has occurred in Rampurhat and has resulted in loss of special lives. The governor's comments are sweeping and uncalled for, and the law and order situation in the state. And she also says that, a Trinamool leader also has been killed. She says the possibility of a larger political conspiracy to malign the image of the state cannot be ruled out. And an investigation will make all-out efforts to unearth all those who are behind the occurrence of the incident. Then, of course, where, she goes on to tell the governor, "May I in this context remind you that your comments were not forthcoming whenever much more heinous incidents happened in BJP-ruled states and other parts of the country. Surprisingly, in all these cases, you have chosen to remain silent." So obviously, Mamata Banerjee asking or perhaps advising the governor to remain silent and not make sweeping statements with political overtones before an investigation is done. Now, there has been some action following the tragic incident, and what triggered it off was apparently the murder of a Trinamool leader, someone at the Gram Panchayat level, and then apparently there were some houses that were set on fire, and we don't know if both the incidents are connected. In fact, the Bengal DGP has apparently said that there's a probe going on that as well.
Saurabh, thanks so much for joining us with those details. In other news, Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray's brother-in-law found himself targeted by the Enforcement Directorate, with the agency freezing 6.5 crore rupees in his assets in a money laundering case. The move came 2 weeks after the IT department conducted a series of raids on people considered close to the Chief Minister's son, Aditya Thackeray, a minister, and colleague Anil Parab, prompting their party, Shiv Sena, to accuse the BJP of selectively targeting political opponents. Now, the NCP has hit out at agencies as well.
स्वच्छ सांगते की याच्यामध्ये फक्त राजकीय किंवा अन्य हेतूने कोणाचे त्रास देण्याच्यासाठी हा कार्यक्रम हातामध्ये घेतलेला आहे. स्वच्छ सांगायचं म्हणजे 5-10 वर्षापूर्वी इथं बसलेल्या कुणाला ईडी नावाची संस्था माहिती नव्हती. आता ही ईडी ही गावागावात गेली. या सगळ्या गोष्टीचा गैरवापर दुर्दैवानं सध्या चालू आहे. बघूया आता त्याला काही पर्याय आहेत, पण त्याची आज चर्चा न केली बरी.
The other big story today, the University Grants Commission announcing that from the 2022-23 academic year, admissions to undergraduate courses in all central universities and affiliated colleges would be via a common university entrance test, and those scores alone would determine admissions. Now, I spoke earlier to the UGC chairman, M. Jagdish Kumar, who called it a student-friendly reform, which was being welcomed by most stakeholders. Professor Kumar, while board results can count towards eligibility, is it correct that no weightage is actually going to be given to board exam performances in the final admission decision to these central universities and affiliate colleges? Is this now going to be based from this coming academic year entirely on the score in this common university entrance test?
You're absolutely right. The board examination marks will only be used as the eligibility criteria for admission in UG programs. The admission in UG programs will solely be based on the CUET score in all the central universities, and we are also asking all the private universities, state universities and deemed to be universities also to adopt the CUET score for admission in their respective UG program.
Now, fuel prices have been hiked for the first time in 137 days. This is the steepest hike in over 2 years. Petrol and diesel prices are up by 80 paise per litre in Delhi, by 84 paise in Mumbai. And that's not all. Cooking gas cylinders prices have been hiked by 50 rupees a cylinder. US President Joe Biden has said India was an exception among Washington's allies with its shaky response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Biden praised the US-led alliance, including NATO, the European Union and key Asian partners, for its united front against Russia's Vladimir Putin.
NATO has never been stronger or more united in its entire history than it is today, in large part because of Vladimir Putin. And but you know, in response to his aggression, there has been we presented a united front throughout NATO and in the Pacific. The Quad is, with the possible exception of India being somewhat shaky on some of this, but Japan has been extremely strong, so has Australia, in terms of dealing with Putin's aggression.
And speaking to NDTV earlier today, while concluding her visit to New Delhi, a top US official called Russia an unreliable partner for India.
We also spoke about the importance of democracies standing together now at this moment when the autocracies like Russia, like China, are showing what a level of threat they can be to peace and security. When we made the decision in the US, in Canada, in Australia, a number of other countries, to completely cut off the import of Russian oil, we actually did not expect that from all of our democratic partners immediately because of the historic legacy. But what we do want to do is work together to find alternative sources over time. And that's what we hope to do with India, whether it's with regard to the security relationship, the energy relationship, etc., because Russia has proven itself to be unreliable and to be a violator of international law.
Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav has chosen to quit as an MP after being elected an MLA in the recent UP elections. He is going to turn his focus in a big way towards state politics ahead of the 2024 national election.
Akhilesh Yadav's resignation as Lok Sabha MP is aimed to cement his position as the main challenger to the BJP and Yogi Adityanath in UP after his party's second straight loss to the BJP in the state elections. Sources say the former chief minister will be leader of opposition in UP, a necessity to avoid the perception that the party's biggest vote getter is running away after defeat.
डिसएडवांटेज क्या था, दिल्ली की राजनीति करेंगे तो फिर प्रदेश में नुकसान हो सकता था.
Mr. Yadav's party finished a distant second at 111 seats in the 403-member UP Assembly to the BJP's 255. However, the SP registered a big increase from 47 seats in 2017, also increasing its vote share.
उनको लगता होगा कि 2024 में भी समाजवादी पार्टी के लिए लोकसभा का रास्ता उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता खोलने वाली नहीं है, इसलिए पहले से ही उन्होंने जो विधानसभा सीटें जिस पे वो निर्वाचित थी उसको अपना सुरक्षित रखने के लिए वो आए. अच्छा है.
Akhilesh Yadav's move will certainly send the political temperature soaring at the Uttar Pradesh Vidhan Sabha once the assembly sessions here start in the new Yogi Adityanath government, and the face-off between the SP chief Mr. Yadav and the UP chief minister is something that many will look forward to, especially journalists. In Lucknow, with camera person Rajesh Gupta, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
A Muslim man transporting animal carcasses legally with licenses was assaulted and abused by a mob of villagers in Uttar Pradesh's Mathura on Sunday night in a disturbing video that's now gone viral on social media. The man in his 30s was attacked because people thought he was smuggling beef. He is now in hospital.
This 35-year-old man, Muhammad Amir, a pickup van driver, assaulted by a mob on Sunday night in UP's Mathura over cow and beef smuggling rumours. However, the police confirmed he was transporting carcasses of other animals, not even of cows, legally under license. This 30-second video shows the man being beaten with belts and rods. Only one man in a white shirt tries to stop the assault, but he is pushed aside. Thankfully, the police managed to reach the spot on time and rescue the man, admitting him to a local hospital where doctors say his injuries are not life-threatening.
प्राथमिक छानबीन के क्रम में यह भी प्रकाश में आया कि उक्त गाड़ी में कोई भी गोवंश अथवा गोमांस नहीं पाया गया.
This FIR charges 16 named accused identified by the victim with attempt to murder. Some are reportedly affiliated with right-wing groups. 4 accused have been arrested so far. The Mathura police say this vehicle was part of a government-licensed operation to dispose of carcasses of dead animals. With Saurabh Gautam and camera person Rajesh Gupta, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Zomato founder Deepinder Goyal has said the 10-minute delivery service that was announced by the startup will be only for specific nearby locations and popular and standardized items. That clarification came after a huge backlash over the 10-minute delivery plan.
Zomato founder Deepinder Goyal's announcement of 10-minute deliveries drawing sharp reactions, with many concerned about the safety of the delivery agents and the traffic in general. Last year, Mumbai police had launched a special drive to recover fines for traffic violations by delivery vehicles, including app-based cabs, and collected 3.6 crore rupees. Top Mumbai police sources say if anyone is found violating rules, they will be penalized under the law, but that no one is being singled out. Zomato's chief then took to Twitter to counter the outrage and explained how it was safe and did not put pressure on delivery partners. He said, Zomato will educate delivery partners on road safety and provide accidental insurance cover. 10-minute delivery will only be for specific standardized items delivered nearby. Delivery partners will not be told about the specific delivery time. There will be no penalties for late deliveries, no incentives for on-time deliveries, and that new food stations are being built for specific customer locations only. The delivery partners that NDTV spoke with say that they are under pressure from both the company and the customer.
नज़दीकी भी है तो हमारे लिए रिस्की है ट्रैफिक है और दुकानदार रेस्टोरेंट वाले भी 5-10 मिनट ले लेते हैं।
फास्ट डिलीवरी के लिए जब भी कस्टमर हम लोग को बोलते हैं तो हम लोग को परेशानियाँ थोड़ा होता ही है मैम। अगर जैसे रेस्टोरेंट से डिलेटिंग ऑर्डर मिलता है तो उसे पहुंचाने में हम लोग को काफ़ी दिक्कत, काफ़ी परेशानियां होती है। अभी बम्बई में तो खास करके ट्रैफिक और मेट्रो का जब से काम हो रहे हैं उसके वजह से हम लोग को 50 मिनट या 20 मिनट्स लग जाते हैं डिलीवर करने में।
10 मिनट का जो डिलीवरी जो दिया है उसके अंदर यानी अभी तक कंपनी ने कुछ राइडर को इन्फॉर्मेशन दिया नहीं है, खाली ऑनलाइन जो उन्होंने अनाउंस किया है, बट अभी तक हमारे पास कोई उसके लिए इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है। अगर इन फ्यूचर होता भी है तो काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम आने वाली है, यानी बॉम्बे सिटी के लिए तो काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम आएगी।
The biggest challenge for delivery partners in cities like Mumbai and Bangalore is traffic, and the onus will be on companies like Zomato to ensure that delivery partners follow safety norms and traffic rules for services like a 10-minute delivery. In Mumbai with Saurabh Gupta, Surya Ganju for NDTV.